Maya hee, Maya hoo, Maya Ryan's drunk. If only that was actually in his mouth. Then he'd spit it all out all over the microphone.
Welcome everyone to the Immaterial Gamers live cast.
You're not a very good fake drunk.
No, because I'm not trying to be a fake drunk. I'm trying to be a tired one. Anyway, right, welcome. What a stupid intro. Only Immaterial Gamers could do something like that. Welcome.
Only Immaterial Gamers.
This is absolutely not an April Fool. This is the Immaterial Gamers live cast. I am Ryan. That's Terry. That's Terry. Video games. Video games is what he does.
That's
Video
not
games
all it
is
says. You're not
what else
reading the
does it
rest of
say?
it.
If it doesn't involve video games, then I don't care. There we go. Our first thing is Duncan just saying I'm just watching videos casually, and the first thing I see is Ryan just chugging at a bottle of liquor. What did you do?
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
I didn't do anything. It was just a setup. It was a setup. You should have saw what we were doing when we were going live. I twerked out of the room during the 3-minute warning. I came back with my shirt halfway up my head. Terry threw a spanner in the works by tightening up his beanie, his toque on why what I think we need you to specify here why did I twerk. Why did I put my shirt above my head? Why did Terry throw a spanner in the works? Why did I get a question wrong regarding how many coffees Terry had in his hand? He goes to Tim Hortons. It was always going to be the double. You know, that's just how it is. Why? Delilah.
Oh, diddly daddle diddle doo, diddly daddle doo.
Diddly do. Yeah, I'm not on much sleep. No, Terry gets 3 by 3. I remember that.
Yes,
Right?
triple.
Oh, the triple. Wow. You get a bagel?
Sometimes.
Timbits?
Usually, we did get Timbits today,
Ah,
but they weren't for me. They were for my mother. My mother wanted some Timbits, so she got some Timbits.
Timbits. Cool. I can't believe it. We started the first part of the podcast. We started talking about Tim Hortons. Um, that's a shared thing between Canada and the UK now. Just Tim
And most
Hortons.
places, actually.
Yeah,
Where
yeah. Drip
it's
coffee that's passable and baked goods which are very nice.
it's more than passable.
Oh well, as someone who's only really got into coffee in the past couple of years.
Duncan does like coffee, so. Actually, I think, didn't Duncan actually start getting into coffee? I can't remember. I know for a long time Duncan didn't like coffee. He was a weird one.
Well, I didn't
I
like
don't know if
coffee,
Duncan.
so am I a weird? Well, I was a weird. No, I still am a weird
You've
one.
always been a weird one.
Yeah, thank you. I was about to say I'm always the weird one. Boo coffee.
Stefan likes his
He
tea.
he tries to be the traditional Brit. So anyway, Terry, it's been a couple of weeks since we've actually podded together. How's it been going?
It's been going. I'm still at, at arms with Twitter, trying to get access to APIs that they don't want to give me.
Yeah, they just don't want to do it. Just while we're here, Duncan drank it for a bit when he used to have early shifts as a way to get away from energy drinks, but I'm not a regular drinker.
I'm a
So,
regular drinker.
Terry's a regular drinker. Terry's a caffeeholic.
I'm I could go with that, or just addicted to caffeine. Just that's the simpler
Yeah,
way of saying it.
fair enough. Yeah. So, sorry, I interrupted there. So as you were saying, Mr. Spanner in the Works, you've been getting on.
Yeah, just been well, I have a code that I wanted to write, but I
Mm-hmm.
need that API,
Yeah.
and I don't care about Murder Mystery 2. Go away.
This is
It's
just to confirm. The story is here that Terry wants to actually get an API in place so that no one can stream without Twitter telling everyone that we're streaming to prevent human error.
well,
We
it's
give it AI
not
error
necessarily.
instead.
Yeah, not necessarily that, but it's more so that we could, instead of all of us having to have access directly to the Immaterial Gamers Twitter,
There's that as well.
we just have to have permissions on Discord to send a bot a message, and that bot would then post to Twitter.
Hmm.
Because we're all on Discord, it'd be so much simpler to just be able to type a command in a chat on Discord,
Hmm.
and that command would get sent to the bot, which would get sent to Twitter to post
Yeah.
that we're going live, or if they wanted to post something that they were interested in.
Mm. Speaking of Discord, have you actually seen that on my username on the thing? Have you seen that I've set up Twitch connections?
I don't know how to check that.
So if you just have a look at the user list, you can see.
User list. I'm
Uh,
assuming I'd have to go to like a normal chat, like general chat kind of thing.
you should be able to just do it from Well, if you go to like dev chat, you should see our Immaterial Gamers list. So you'll
Sure.
just see there's you online, Duncan is online, Martin is online, D's
Streaming
idle.
the Immaterial.
Yeah, streaming, go live. You can add that as a connection. So, fun fact before we go, we'll carry on that bit. Duncan, today I learned that Tim Hortons actually still is Canadian, technically. I would assumed it had been bought by an American company, in finger quotes, but it's actually a merger between Burger King and Tim Hortons, with a headquarters still in Canada. So, Canadian win, I guess.
Woo! Yeah, I knew it was owned by Burger King, which is
Yeah.
technically American. But
What? My God, have you? Oh, Jesus! So you have Doritos over there. I'm almost gonna be almost
yes,
certain on there. Do you currently have the Burger King Whopper flavor of Doritos?
can't say I have ever seen them.
So we used to have them over here as barbecue beef flavor, but now they've sort of had a tie-in with Burger
BBB,
King. BBQ. No, all right,
BBB.
fine. BBQ.
No,
Beef.
BBB.
But yeah, so they were. What's it called? So they're now Burger King Whopper flavor, flame grilled Whopper flavor. They're exactly the same flavor. They just got the Burger King brand on the front of them. To prevent, I can't believe that we live in a world that to prevent litigious fucking idiots, they have to put an asterisk at the bottom that says flame grilled Whopper not included.
Welcome to the world we live in.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, yeah, if a guy can sue someone for boneless wings, then yeah,
Or how about
someone.
burning themselves off a hot coffee that they
Yeah,
ordered?
that's true. Even though it says very hot on the front of it.
Well, no, they added that because of someone that burned themselves, but that's, I don't know.
Like, honestly, how do they dress themselves?
But so back to my little bit of coding that I've been doing.
Yes.
I have had one win so far.
Oh yeah.
Me and Stefan have been playing Pixelmon server,
Right. Yes. You have.
and it in chat will say that a shiny Pokemon has spawned near players.
Mm.
So I wrote a code that would read my log for
Yeah.
my Minecraft, which will have all the chat that I've received in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it scans for either a shiny or a legendary Pokemon chat,
Right.
and if it finds that, it will check to see if it's on my name or Stefan's name, and if it does, it
Mm-hmm.
will visually alert me by writing a shiny Pokemon's been found or has spawned near you,
Okay.
and it'll also audio alert me. It'll give me a little bing,
Ah,
like
bing.
a little bell will go off.
Okay.
And so far, it seems to be working.
Yay! Coding win. Coding win.
Unlike the stupid Twitter API that they won't
The
give me.
69th Musketeer just continues to fuck it up. 69th Musketeer's had to backtrack on his recent update, by the way, as well. Apparently, people who got verified on Twitter could only have got verified on Twitter because they were a bot. So the only people who really should have the verified blue tick are people who are paying him £8 a month to suck his Tesla dick.
The worst part is I always liked Elon,
Yeah,
but like I liked the verified was that you were actually a person
yeah. The whole
behind an
point of
account.
verified was that it confirmed that you were you. That's all it
Now
really did.
any now any scammer, anything out there could just spend £8 a month per account that they want to do to
Mm,
pretend to be verified
yeah.
and scam people with it.
Well, at
Hey,
least
look,
on
this is my Twitter.
yeah, at least on one thing on that. Film director Edgar Wright, I follow him on Twitter, and at least he put a post up about 20 minutes before we went live that said, well, it clears that up, I guess. Now the blue tick says this user now is either subscribed to Twitter Blue or is a legacy verified account.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
well, I mean, okay, it's one step. It's not like they've took the blue ticks from everyone. It's still problematic.
It would
Scammers
be
still
pretty
go
funny
on
if they
there.
did take.
As someone who doesn't have nor really wants one, mainly because I am hardly of any note. I'm just some big,
Eh,
I'm just some big round guy sat in his living room, podcasting to single-digit users.
hey, you don't have the watermark on this one.
I don't have the watermark on this one because,
There's the giant Immaterial Gamers.
yeah, there's a giant Immaterial Gamers logo, but that's my proud element. I will post how people can do it into the dev chat later on, just the
You should add it.
settings. And
You should have it.
you think I should? What you think I should just put the watermark in here as well?
Or maybe add it to your square, your camera.
Hold on. I could do this.
Because
Hold
you
on. Add
are the
image.
Immaterial Gamers.
Add existing. What did I call it? Is it just called Immy? Oh, Jesus, that's large.
It takes over the whole screen. Woo!
Hold on. There you go. There you go. So
There!
that's what the immaterial watermark looks like now. I made a watermark in OBS. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. We're all about
I
little
received a
wins.
message the other day. How would I go about making this? And I'm
Yeah.
like, can't you just modify the preferences or the properties?
It turns out I learned what you were saying about trying to add a mask to when you were doing your streams and trying to add filters into the
Oh
logo
yeah,
to do it, and that's all I've done. I've just added a color correction filter to the
yeah.
IMI logo, and now I'm proud to say that that's what it looks like. It's
It
a
looks pretty
watermark.
sick.
It's a bug. It's great. So yeah, I'll send people the filters and the transform thing so they can do it going forward with their streams.
Coolio.
And yeah, I'd say between that and then getting everyone in so that everyone's streams get tweeted when they go live. That's the next update. That's the next task. Whether we, like I say, whether we can get that API access or not is a different thing. Maybe constantly calling him the 69th Musketeer is not going to help us
Probably not, but
get there. But
it's unlikely that they're gonna tie my request to that,
yeah,
seeing as I requested it on my own account.
yeah. So
But
there's
you never
that.
know; the bots are watching always.
Yeah, always. Which is hilarious considering it's the bots that you're supposed to be trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, that's
uh,
why I made the joke that I expected a bot reply from him,
yeah.
even though he hates bots,
Oh, he hates certain types of bots.
except for his own.
Oh, of course. Of course. I'm telling. Sure. So, yeah, we haven't really. I don't know. I mean, you've talked about Pixelmon. I don't think I've played really much anything new recently. I finished Moonlighter, or finished the main story of Moonlighter on Going Rogue. Still had 8 lives left. Still waiting to see if I get a response from Digital Sun Games to say whether I should trade in all my lives that I had to go for thingy. But then again, I might just play it anyway. Who cares? I've got an idea for tomorrow's not yet titled Monday stream though. Based on our first news story actually. So April Fool's Day. People celebrate it.
Wait, there's a foolish day of
Oh, there is a
April.
foolish day. Yeah, the 1st of April. Generally, April Fool's Day, the day of foolish stuff. And
Speaking of which, I have a few things I want to talk about that after.
oh yeah.
A couple good ones. But Tim Hortons did one, which is
Oh,
kind of fun.
Oh no, go now because it'll lead into the news story that I was talking
Well, you
about.
asked me about Timbits earlier, so it sort of
Yeah.
ties into that. I didn't even think about it until you mentioned April
Oh
Fools.
yeah.
So
So there was an April Fool's regarding Timbits then.
yeah, well, they're shaped, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're little.
They're like little balls. They're
Yeah.
like dough balls.
Or as the Americans would call them, donut
Donut
hole.
holes, which is not true.
No, because if you cut the center out of a donut, you'd get a cylinder.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, there was a an advertisement that came on like TikTok and stuff. Whoa, you're moving stuff around.
Yeah. I
Fuck with
accidentally
my
moved.
head.
I meant to move the watermark, and I accidentally moved the background logo instead. So yeah.
um, and so I was going through TikTok, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden, a Tim Hortons one came up and said new Timbits, and they pulled up the Timbits box, and there's cubed Timbits,
Oh God.
and they basically said they're they're better in so many ways. They're
Hmm.
6 sides of flavor instead of one side of flavor. They're stackable, whereas the other ones they fall off of each other.
Yeah.
and and then at the very end of the advertisement, it said available exclusively April 1st.
And that's where you go. Hang on.
Yep.
Uh,
But you can cut it
no,
out
but
before.
you cut it up before cooking, so it would be right. No, 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 don't try and think.
It doesn't work that way.
Uh, so you had that. I had fun with April Fool's Day on Saturday.
Did you?
Yeah, part of the news that's coming up is an explanation as to why I had fun with April Fool's Day. Because you know me, and you know I love my Vampire Survivors. And one of the news stories that we're going to lead into our questions that we'll talk about will come up. But I, for April Fool's Day, did a 5-minute pre-recorded video before I started my Like a Dragon stream. I
Oh,
played a run of Vampire Survivors, and spent 5 minutes or about 4 minutes playing Vampire Survivors while reading the Wikipedia entry for garlic.
you mean Dalek?
Yeah, garlic. No,
Dalek?
not Dalek. Not Dalek.
Dalek.
No, garlic. And I took that that pre-record that ends with me faking starting like a dragon stream just to find that my garden had been invaded by garlic as a video. It's currently on the Immaterial Gamers YouTube. That's the link in the chat. It's called Garlic, an Immaterial Gamers story. Apart
Dalek.
from one person who's actually watched the full length of the video, no one has actually watched it. Just 0 second views. You know, the usual business. People don't like bots don't like people doing videos. But
They
I mean, to
love
be fair,
they love videos.
to be to be fair, I mean, if you didn't know, why would people watch it? Because the title says Garlic, an Immaterial Gamers story, and the description says a short story about how the Immaterial Gamers rallied round a bulb and found new purpose. I mean, it clearly doesn't. Might have to rechange the title. I'll just call it an Immaterial Gamers story for April from April Fool's Day, just to.
You have 5 views.
Yeah, 1 view with the full length of the video and 4 views of 0 seconds.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty
I'm
sure.
assuming you're the only one that views it the full time.
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, no, you know what I'll do? I will I will change the.
Change the what?
I'll change the title of it now, so it now says Garlic, an Immaterial Gamer Story from April Fool's Day.
I think you should leave it.
This was a joke
That's
from.
okay. So one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my many favorites, um, his name is Matt Lauren,
Yeah,
and he does Kerbal Space Program stuff, and so people have been asking him forever and ever and ever to put a mod in called RSS,
right.
and every year makes a joke, an April Fool's joke for it.
Hmm.
I can't remember what he did last year, but this year he said he wasn't gonna make an April Fool's joke about it.
Oh, that's a red
So he's
flag right
actually
off.
yeah. So he's actually gonna install the RSS mod.
Yeah,
Well, the real RSS mod is Real Solar Systems. He will never say the name Real Solar System. He has this thing. He will not play it. Makes the map way too big, way too complicated for Kerbal Space Program. It's not
right.
supposed to be realistic.
Okay.
Um, so he will never say the name. So he installed the RSS mod, the Real Slim Shady mod.
Oh, jeez.
His rocket was covered
With
in
Eminem.
Eminem's images.
Nice.
And the whole video, he was just talking about how he used to love Eminem, and it was special. It was a very
Good.
special video.
Good. Good.
I
Oh,
love April Fools. The things that people come up with. I can never come up with anything clever like that, but the things that some people come up with,
like I say, I
that
mean, to be fair, I mean,
special.
I put in the Excel Discord when I did my daily good morning to them, to the members of that community. I just went like, good. I put a lot of effort into something that I thought was funny and would have little payoff. Morning, everyone. How's it going? Because to be fair, I thought it was funny to just sit there and just play a game, just to start a stream that says we're playing Like a Dragon, like I do every day on the weekend. You
Yeah.
know, that's my game for role playing, not in the games. So to just instead of seeing, Like a Dragonetian, it's Vampire Survivors, and there's just me here reading about the locations of garlic and and what it stands for, and
As I
but
hear wild garlic and
yeah, yeah, and butchering, butchering Latin. So there's that, and then just to have the false finish. So just like it fades out, it comes back to Like a Dragon. I'm sat there in the house in the the Stardew Valley style mode that they've got. I'm like, welcome back everyone, happy for April Fool's Day. So we're just gonna, before we carry on with chapter 7 of Like a Dragonetian, we're just gonna look at the farm and what's this? This farm is not how. This is not how I left the farm. Go to the planning window of it, and it's just full of garlic. I'm like, you cheeky. And then start the stream. I thought that was. I seem to be my own audience,
yeah.
which is a shame because I thought it was funny, but that's me.
Hey, it was a little bit deeper than most jokes is the thing.
I
So like
get, yeah. Well, I mean, to be
some
fair,
people wouldn't really they might like because we don't have a regular fan base. It's
mm,
like, oh, is he just being serious? Like maybe this is him. Maybe he really really likes
yeah,
garlic bread,
maybe he just likes to start streams just reading Wikipedia entries. That's.
and he loves garlic.
Look, I had to take it because it was the first time I would have been. I think it's the first time since we started streaming that April the 1st has fallen on a
A day
day
that
that
you
I
could
could
actually
do
do
it. Yeah, so I had to take the opportunity. Anyway, Sega. So we'll go to some news
it.
now. This all
Sega.
leads in. Sega have been doing this for a couple of years actually, of doing April Fool's jokes in the form of actual downloadable, playable games.
Really?
Yeah. So a couple of years back, they actually did so. The game Fantasy Zone. Um,
Okay.
the little game with the little walking ship that you had to fire. Fight little enemies. Very colourful, very nice stuff like that. They mixed it with the turn-based strategy game Endless Space.
Oh yeah.
So it became
I remember
Endless
this.
Zone, and so you could play Fantasy Zone with assets from Endless Space. The Sega social media team have done it again. They released a visual novel with little platforming elements called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It is on Steam now. You can download it. It is playable. And it involves the cast of the Sonic the Hedgehog series trying to solve the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog while on a train in the game.
Who would murder Sonic the Hedgehog?
That's your job to find out. It's like the story, but the video for it was like basically like Sega turned around and said, "We took all your feedback from all the Sonic the Hedgehog games, and we absolutely like to listen to you as a fan base. So therefore, we are proud to announce he's dead."
Oh.
And it just shows that if you have a look on the Escapist article that I put in there, it is just a spotlight. It's the Family Guy spotlight of Sonic being dead with a captain's hat on the top of his head.
That's pretty funny.
But it's playable, and the reason I mention that is because yes, I'm going for I think for the not yet titled Monday stream tomorrow, I may actually just play it.
Oh really?
Why not? It's free, right?
Might as well.
So it's on.
Or is this another late April Fool's joke?
No, I'm a fool enough. I don't need to do any
You're just
more of that.
foolish.
Speaking of fools, do you know who else are fools? That's right, the gaming industry. Well, actually, no, they're probably not fools. It's probably a reason. So, quite a few weeks back, we posted a story or we looked at a story regarding the fact that E3 was being looked to be cancelled.
Yes, I remember that.
And
That was
everyone
actually
went
on
and
the
said,
podcast.
"Don't read what you see in the gaming press. They're liars. They don't know anything. Who would
It's canceled.
who would cancel E3? Yeah, it's cancelled." Turns out members of the gaming media do get their sources right from time to time, and
Occasionally.
occasionally, um, but yeah. So this IGN article, along with many other articles and discussion points, basically turned around and said, yeah, due to this was supposed to be the first post-pandemic E3 in person, because they'd done digital versions for the past couple of years, particularly like Devolver Digital doing theirs on the show.
Digimon.
Ubisoft were there, and and then Microsoft and EA would turn up every now and again for their day -1, day 0, all that stuff. And Nintendo and Sony said, "Nah, we're good, bro. We can control our own industry events. We don't need to wait one time a year. We can do it quarterly. Or in the case of Nintendo, we'll do it when we damn please." So, yeah, through those factors and the fact that people are still, and understandably so, not wanting to go to in-person events as much, the ESA have had no choice but to cancel the in-person E3. What is a shocker to me is they've also cancelled the digital version of E3 as well. So there's no show at all.
There's no E3.
There's
E3
no
is no
E3.
longer existent.
Yeah. E3 is DE3D. It's deed.
It's D3 dead.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that being said, maybe we've discussed this over the past couple of years, has there been a need for E3?
Not really. So Ryan, remember
Yes,
I was
sir.
telling you about that code I wrote?
Yeah, that code you wrote.
It just got me a shiny Pokemon.
Nice. There you go.
Because I was just podcasting with you, and all of a sudden, bling! I'm like,
There you go. There you go. That right there, by the way, is how unimportant E3 is these days.
Yeah, I caught a shiny Pokemon while it was happening.
Yeah.
Or while we were talking.
We're just like, Yeah, the big industry event, massive industry event, shut down. Whatever shall we do? That's right, catch shiny Pokemon.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really not much more to say on that. It's like we've now come to a point that sure there is a little bit of the there's the concern of how tightly controlled all the individual companies' stage shows are, but I mean I guess they were already doing that anyway. But then they also had to pay to have a conference hall in Los Angeles to do the show rather than a green screen. Just wheel out Phil Spencer for the Xbox, wheel out whoever they do
Aw.
for Sony.
I want them to wheel at somebody else, so somebody might get slapped.
Wheel out Doug Bowser for Nintendo.
Or
They hit
Phil
they hit
Myth.
the man, the myth, the legend, Doug Bowser.
Exactly.
So yeah, rip E3, I suppose. Guess the industry will be without the weird who won E3 stories from now on. It's a shame, I suppose. Anyway,
Shame.
award ceremonies. That's the next story, and that's where I want to lead to a question because this is just also hilarious. So I've been on my soapbox. I love to get on my soapbox, and I was very very annoyed that at Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley, sponsored by Jeff Keighley and Jeff Keighley Productions, brought out their awards for their nominations for best game and stuff like that. And the annoying bit that I had on it, unless someone tells me wrong, unless I've got time wrong, the fact that God of War Ragnarok was nominated for best game a month before God of War Ragnarok was actually released. Something can't be best game if no
Yeah.
one's actually experienced it.
That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
So, but Christopher Judge from Stargate SG-1, fame, he's living the best life. Kratos is him now. That's just how it is. What was his name in Star Trek? Stargate, even? Jesus. Sci-fi. Teal'c. Thank you. Both Paul and Martin there. Help me out on that one. Thank you very much, guys. So anyway, yeah, I posted a link that the BAFTAs, the British Association for Film and Television Awards, or the British Academy for Film and Television Awards, have a gaming version of the BAFTAs, and God of War won quite a lot of awards, and to what people would say, well deserved. The shocker came at the end of the night for the award for best game. Now, Ragnarok has been out for a few months, so the nomination for best game is legitimate this time. Jeff. Why am I personally targeting Jeff Keighley? He doesn't even know who I am. He's not going to turn around and go, Ryan, I made a choice. We all made a choice beforehand. No, who am I kidding? I'll watch his Summer Game Fest later on, and I'll watch the Game Awards again later on down the line. But so the nominations for best game was coming up, and then the presenter giving out the award was there, and she goes, and the winner for the BAFTA of best video game goes to Vampire Survivors. Audible gasp from the auditorium that is hosting the award. The weird shock of the 10-man crew of Poncle Games, while they're where the lead is actually at GDC, not so subtly leaking DLC for the game. And yeah, they're surprised, we've got a thank you note, but we didn't actually think we were going to read it. So they're there, the thing to take into account, disclaimer on this part, the BAFTAs do have, or do tend to vote for British-made games.
But they also have a soul?
In their award. They also have a soul.
They also have a soul.
Yeah. But so that also comes up to it. But they have also been well known for for making choices that are against the grain.
That's what I mean by has a soul.
Yeah.
They'll help out the little guys.
Yeah, they also do like their indies. I mean, earlier on in the night, best British game went to Roller Dome, which is the roller skating / first person shooter game. And the people behind that turned around and said, honestly, I don't know why we won this. I honestly expected Vampire Survivors to win. Now that we know that they won best game instead of best British game, you can probably see what comes out there. But this led to a debate. I say debate. Is Twitter a debate? Is God of War fans going, oh my god, this is the BAFTAs are shit. They chose an indie game. They chose this little game over our AAA masterpiece, our magnum opus. It's not your magnum opus for a start. It's Sony Santa Monica's magnum opus. Thank you. You just bought the game and played it. They made it.
That's what always pisses me off. Is like these big companies think that they have to win everything, and they basically just eat alive all the smaller companies.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I did make a joke of just like Vampire Survivors won, and then Sony fired about 5 PR teams that same night. But yeah, no, it did lead to a question though of coming up onto this. What is if you were a member of the jury and you were looking? I don't want to go for examples of games. I'm thinking more. What would you look for if you were to vote something best game? Because the thing that we got there is that God of War Ragnarok, massive storytelling, big Hollywood voice acting, gameplay that is visceral and works. It looks gorgeous. It's it's all stuff like that. That's what people have been looking for as a best game all around. Take that into account for Vampire Survivors. It's 8-bit. It's got little digital assets. It's got a very, very simple and stripped down premise. It doesn't even have vampires, for fuck's sake. But it's got a simple pick up and play, and the gameplay loop is there, and obviously people enjoy it. And it's something that you could just pick up, put down, and do all that.
That's one of the things I would look for is, can you just hop in and have fun? Like some of these games that have a story, you spend so much time going through dialogue or like I won't call them credits, but like a story at the beginning. And
preambles. There's always a lot of exposition.
And there's stories and stories and stories, and you're like, I have an hour to play. I would like to just hop into a game, relax, and then do whatever I have to do.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like I say, in terms of that, my bias is notwithstanding regarding Jeff. Jeff. I can understand that as a multimedia experience, as a cross-media experience, God of War has got people the right way regarding narrative and gameplay intertwining. But has it? Because I'll tell you this from one of my workmates who's basically turned around and said there are a lot of people that it's a bit of a, and I've said this before, it's a bit of a Marmite game. Or there's
Marmite? What the fuck do you mean by Marmite?
People love it or hate it.
Okay.
In terms of people playing though, but in terms of the function, because there's obviously narrative and then there's gameplay, and there are people who love the gameplay and hate the narrative. There are people who love the narrative and bear with the gameplay so they can get their story across. And I like narrative as well. That's I do like games with stories and good stories. They can help shore up a good game sometimes, can plug the weaknesses that gameplay has. But at that point, for me, that then eliminates it from being a best game, because you would think at that point they both have to be at a sufficient standard, high standard.
Yeah.
In order to do it. Now, granted, I don't want to say there's barely any lore in Vampire Survivors, because that's not necessarily that's not the case. There's lore all over the place. There's glossaries and bestiaries and everything's written sort of an optional pace. But like you were saying, you want sort of the gameplay loop. You want something that you can just pick up, have a couple of runs before you do something, watch the sunset, realize that you've missed what you were supposed to do, and then go and do it.
Yeah, not necessarily. Like,
No, I know what you
there's
mean. It's
there's
just
times
something that you
for
can just.
everything. Like, sometimes you want a long game with a story and you want
Mhm.
to really dive into it, and other times you just want something to take your mind off life,
Mm,
escape
yeah,
into.
yeah. So that's the thing. I guess what we've learned on this small discussion here is that anything can become best game if you want it to be. Nothing should be eliminated. Nothing should be there, but it has to be. The package has to all be there, and that's just how it is. Someone's having a laugh at the word package. Tiny
Package.
balls. Big meaty men slapping me. He's trying to hold it. He's trying to hold it. Big meaty men slapping me. So I've been watching WrestleMania. Like I say, lack of sleep, watching WrestleMania again in a couple of hours, because still not getting used to this whole 2 day thing. But yeah. So I'd say personally, Vampire Survivors, it's an odd choice for best game, but it's one that I absolutely would take, because you know what, it's different. And if it's inspired tons of clones, then it's got to be good, right? And like I say, I'd love to play God of War Ragnarok, but I like to pay I'd like to pay for my PS5 at retail price.
You'll never get it at retail price ever.
Yeah, yeah, thought as much. Right, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Um, no, I don't think there's anything else going on.
Okay, I think
No, I can't think of anything.
maybe just go to the schedule and the thing. You know what? I should have done
Schedule.
this. Every time I podcast with you, I should just bring out one of my games. I should just bring out the what year in gaming is this. Remind me next
Oh
time that you're on.
gosh.
I'll set another one up. Maybe just have a
So I
couple
could fail hard again.
couple in the hopper just to go. Hey, you weren't that far off.
100 years off. That's
You weren't 100 years
it.
off. Right. Anyway, schedule for this week's podcasts coming up.
This week's podcasts. We have multiple
This week's
podcasts.
podcasts. Also this week's
Oh
streams.
wow.
Um. So. Where are we? Let me think. Monday. Not yet titled Monday stream. We're going to play the Murderer Sonic the Hedgehog. There we go. Tuesday and Thursday could be surprise streams. Who knows what's going on there for later on in the evening. Thursday, Teamfight Thursdays, we're going back into the Convergence, and we're going to play some TFT 8.5 and go with that. Friday is play session. We'll decide what to play. I mean, last week, me, Stefan, and Duncan played For the King, and like tabletop style roguelike game. It was pretty cool. So that could come up, but it depends on who's around, when we're around. That'll be out. That sorts itself out. Saturday and Sunday is role playing, not Imma games, and Sunday evening, I may have to see if there is someone else. I should probably put a note out about the podcast, because I'm going to watch the wrestling on Sunday. Me and Martin are going to watch the wrestling, so might pretty much won't be around for the podcast in the evening, because we'll be too
That'll be
too
more fun.
too in
That'll
town.
be more fun.
Well, we'll see what happens. And I'm off this week, so the role playing Not In My Games takeover's happening.
Oh. Have you
So,
actually planned for someone to take over, or are you
oh
trying
no,
to
I
get
mean,
someone?
no, the role playing Not In My Games takeover. Basically, on the Mondays, on the mornings, I'll be playing more role playing Not In My Games than I normally do.
Oh, I thought you meant you're actually off.
No,
Like you're not you're away for these ones.
no.
I misunderstood.
I've just wanted some time off work, and I want to complete Like a Dragon Ishin, because I'm getting a backlog of RPGs that I want to play. So
Like a dragon. He should.
so we'll get that done. So if anyone's come in and watched this nonsense or listen to this nonsense, thank you. At any point, follow us on Twitch, follow us on, or subscribe to us on YouTube. Everything's in the bios on there. youtube.com/@immaterialgamersyt if you want the actual name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we got? The Twitter @immaterialgamer. If you want to know when we're going live and stuff like that. All our podcasts will be available in audio form wherever podcasts are served. So you've got that as well. Everywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get off because we need to have some food before WrestleMania Night 2 starts.
Night 2.
Terry's got some shinies to get.
Maybe if any more spawn, I will get them.
Yeah,
they'll be mine.
Fair enough. And yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week. So
Peace.
Peace.